Now, reporting from Lexington, Buena Vista, and Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Rockbridge Report. I'm Ann Vasulis.
And I'm Brooke Sutherland.
The Lexington Police Department released an emergency alert for several burglaries in residential and business areas in the city. Lexington Police Captain Bucky Miller told Rockbridge Report crime reporter Megan Shaw in a newsmaker that burglaries are nationally on the rise. He warned locals to change their habits.
I know that there are citizens in the city of Lexington that don't lock their cars and they don't lock their homes. Most criminals are pretty lazy. And the harder you make it for them to get in your house, the less likely they are to break into your house.
Officials couldn't be reached for comment, but the police urged Lexington residents to report any suspicious activity.
Buena Vista has sunk millions of dollars into a golf course. The cash-strapped city has drawn national and local attention for a golf course bleeding money. Still, our Stephen Peck reports that the city isn't willing to give up yet.
Buena Vista is nationally known for its golf course that's bankrupting the city. For citizen Robbie Rice, all bad press is warranted.
The golf courses were in this town, and I don't care if all of America heard it.
Since the Vista Links opened in 2003, it has lost over $1.4 million. The city must also pay an annual debt payment. 9 cents on the real estate tax covers these costs. Rice isn't pleased.
As a citizen that puts up a lot of money for taxes, I would just say to them people, just give it up.
The city had high hopes that the links would give Buena Vista a jolt of life. City Councilman Steve Baldridge.
I think what they were hoping was that, the markets were all going up at the time, and they thought, okay, we're going to do something.
Buena Vista hoped to develop homes along the course and lure stores to the area as well, ideas that Baldridge admits were unrealistic.
A little town of 6,000 people getting a big box retailer, unlikely.
Baldridge says it's now time to rethink the city's investment.
I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know why they did this. It's done now. Now what do I do?
Ideas such as selling the course, handing it over to a developer, or letting it turn into farmland were all discussed at a recent city council retreat. Buena Vista citizen Hans Moeller is a Lynx regular.
I'd like to see something, $5-6 million go down the drain for nothing and just turn it back into farmland.
City manager Jay Scudder.
I think that we'll be able to market that golf course and pull things in and try to make the best of it and hopefully try to sustain it.
Baldridge is not so sure that keeping the course makes sense.
The cost of covering a $660,000 annual bond payment and imagining that for the next 26 years, it's just hard to justify.
Economic Development Director Brian Brown asks for a little more patience.
We understand that there's going to be a short-term hardship as we move forward, but the long-term vision is where we're looking to go.
Only one thing seems to be in agreement. There is no simple solution for the Vista Links.
Whatever path we choose, we're going to have to own it. It's not going to be easy.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Stephen Peck.
There were 24,000 rounds of golf played at the Vista Links in 2006. Last year, that number dropped to 13,000.
Virginia Military Institute is investing in its Lexington campus. Construction of the 98-car parking lot is continuing. The South Institute Hill lot is the second parking lot on Main Street to be built since 2009. School officials say it will be used mostly for faculty and administration, but it can also be used to help lessen parking problems during VMI events. The $2.8 million project is one of several ongoing construction or renovation plans at VMI. The changes are part of the Institute's strategic leadership plan called Vision 2039.
Debris burning is the #1 cause of wildfires in Virginia. Though it's not a huge issue in the Lexington-Rockbridge area, Rockbridge reporter Megan Shaw has a story on what the state does to control these fires.
Virginia's 4 p.m. burning law was created in the 40s to cut down on spring wildfires. Every year, the law goes into effect on February 15th and runs through the end of April. You aren't allowed to burn anything until after 4 o'clock, and you have to have your fire out by midnight.
You can only do this if you're outside of 300 feet of woodlands or brushes. So if you have an open area, say asphalt or a construction site that has 300 feet, then you can still burn. So it's some exceptions to that rule.
A state law bans burning at all times within the Lexington city limits too, but you can start fires in Rockbridge County.
That we had earlier this month, we went there and spoke with the landowner, and they just let the fire die down. It wasn't anything that was out of control.
The sheriff has only received one call about a wildfire, and he says it's in control.
Probably because of the weather. We've had a relatively wet spring, so we haven't had a whole lot of debris burns that have escaped.
Locals usually burn twigs and leaves like these. Towards the end of the winter, people clean up their yards and burn the piled up debris when the weather gets warmer. Students usually just burn contained bonfires at night.
Spencer, who used to work for the Virginia Department of Forestry, says some people use burning for maintenance.
People burn the banks off all the roadsides where it's hard for them to weed eat and stuff, so they'll burn those and that type of stuff. And we've had several calls where people think that it's an actual wildland fire when it's just somebody doing a control burn.
As long as the fire isn't out of hand, a sheriff's deputy will respond first. Violation of the law is a Class 3 misdemeanor with a maximum fine of $500.
Both Spencer and Blaylock agree that the Lexington residents are aware of the law and abide by it. There aren't any kind of trends in students burning illegal fires either. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Megan Shaw.
Spencer says that most of the field fires he sees in Lexington happen after some kind of equipment malfunction. Later, find out what people actually do on a spring ruckus day. Here's a hint, it has to do with these woolly creatures.
But first, VMI honors a person who has made an international impact. She had residents flocking to the VMI campus on Tuesday. We'll have more after the break.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks, more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
On Tuesday, Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney picked up 86 delegates from the Wisconsin, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. primaries. So far, Romney has won 58% of the primaries and caucuses, putting him on pace to clinch the Republican nomination in June. Right now, Romney has 658 delegates. That means Rick Santorum will need 80% of the remaining delegates to win the nomination. However, all 4 candidates say they will remain in the race until the convention in Tampa. The next primary is set for April 24th in Connecticut, Delaware, New York, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. 231 delegates are on the line.
Locally, a national political figure visited the Virginia Military Institute on Tuesday. Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton paid tribute to VMI's alumnus George Marshall in a speech at Cameron Hall. Clinton praised Marshall's vision for integrating foreign development and national defense after World War II.
Looked at a Europe shattered by war, he knew that hunger and poverty would ultimately undermine our own prosperity and opportunity, that desperation and chaos would ultimately give rise to forces that would threaten us here at home.
Clinton visited VMI to accept the school's Distinguished Diplomat Award. VMI's International Studies Department grants the award in recognition of outstanding diplomatic achievement. The Secretary of State won't be the only big name to touch down in Lexington this week. On Monday, Washington and Lee will host former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Giuliani garnered international attention for his leadership during the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center. He is scheduled to speak at Lee Chapel at 7:30 that evening on principled leadership in the face of change and crisis. The event is free and open to the public, but a ticket is required to get in. You can pick up a ticket in W&L's Elrod Commons from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. tomorrow. Doors open at 6:45 p.m. on Monday.
Well, not all conservatives are against gay marriage. Conservative journalist Andrew Sullivan made the case for marriage equality in a debate last night at Washington and Lee's Lee Chapel. Sullivan's opponent was Maggie Gallagher, the co-founder of the National Organization of Marriage. Sullivan argued that as a conservative constitutionalist and a gay man, all Americans should have the same rights. Gallagher said she is against gay marriage because she believes that the ideal situation for a child is to be raised by a mother and a father. The debate was hosted by the Washington and Lee School of Law's Federalist Society and Outlaw, the school's LGBT organization. Well, April not only marks the beginning of spring showers, it's also National Autism Awareness Month.
And later, Rockbridge County's own Olympians broke out their saddles and riding boots this weekend. Stay tuned.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. Ooh. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Every book is an adventure waiting to come to life. Visit new worlds. Encounter new friends. And discover the power of reading. Go to read.gov to read A Princess of Mars, the first novel to feature John Carter. A new world awaits. Read.
April is National Autism Awareness Month. Autism, a developmental disorder, appears within the first 3 years of life. It affects the brain's normal development. Autistic children typically have difficulties in pretend play, social interaction, and verbal and nonverbal communication. Rockbridge reporter Emily Mosh has the story of one Buena Vista school that is autism aware all year long.
Point to the words in box 1. It is 28. High five! Way to go, big guy.
Nathan is 8 years old. He suffers from autism.
I know that a diagnosis can be devastating for families, and when you're in that situation, it can be hard to search out the right resources.
Patty Cook is the administrative director of the Blue Ridge Autism and Achievement Center in Buena Vista, a school that she helped found 3 years ago. BRAC, as it's commonly called, was originally started in Roanoke. At BRAC, students spend nearly all day working one-on-one with a certified therapist. Parents like Hope Allison say that level of attention is critical for their kids.
And they have all one-on-one help and their own teacher, their own classroom, and it's done amazing work for my son.
The goal of BRAC is to help students to be to be as typical as their peers as much as we possibly can. Everything that we do is working toward giving them the most normal, natural childhood that we possibly can.
April is National Autism Awareness Month. Patty says increased awareness by both parents and doctors leads to earlier interventions and better care for children with autism. She knows firsthand how important this is. Her 15-year-old son was diagnosed with autism at 26 months old. This sparked her passion for helping others in her situation.
Your child is going to be amazing. It might not be the journey that you thought you were going on, but there's still a lot of hope out there for our families.
12 students ages 3 to 15 are currently enrolled in the intensive program at BRAC. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Emily Mosh.
The CDC just released numbers that show 1 in 88 children in the United States are diagnosed with some form of autism. It has no known cure. Scientists recently identified several gene mutations that they agree increases the chance that a child will develop autism. Findings also show the risk is higher in children born to fathers over the age of 35.
This was a very special week for some local families. Rockbridge reporter Alex Cummings meets the area's newest crop of Olympians.
18-year-old Eliza Beard has been riding horses for years. Her training has all led up to this day. She and her horse Blueberry take to the ring for the 2012 Special Olympics Equestrian Games.
I rode some horses and I rode Blueberry.
The Special Olympics were held this past weekend at Hoofbeats Therapeutic Riding Center in Lexington. The event featured unique events for riders of all ages.
I am doing a musical test. When you ride to a specific kind of music, I'm doing she put the lime in the coconut.
Hoofbeats director Carol Branscombe has been teaching therapeutic riding for 30 years.
We have disabilities ranging from physical disabilities, emotional, learning, mental, brain injuries. It's Christmas and it's the VMI Games, and those are the two things that they look forward to throughout the year.
VMI hosted the Equestrian Games for the 4th year in a row. Dozens of cadets came out to lend a helping hand.
They were just kids having fun riding horses and putting on a show, honestly.
They get to meet, people who genuinely care about them and want to see them succeed. This is their social time and where they can say, hey, I can do something and I can do it by myself, and I'm pretty good at it.
Rider Grace Oswald says spending time with the horses is her passion.
I've got a couple of books on horses. I would love to be a veterinarian because I love the animals.
9-year-old Matthew Flint prefers to keep his eyes on the prize.
I'd like to win ribbons.
How many do you think you're going to win?
3 or 4.
But today, all riders came away champions.
First ribbon and gold medal. I won first place in equestrian.
I just won second place for a pretty hard test.
After the show, riders enjoyed a banquet and a dance. From here, Hoofbeats will move into its next session, in which it will prepare for a dinner theater. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Alex Cummings.
Everyone is a winner.
19 riders participated in the weekend's events. Hoofbeats, a non-profit organization, has participated in the Special Olympics Equestrian Games since 1998. Making it to the VMI Games has been Branscombe's goal for years. Softball is in swing at Rockbridge County High School, but will the warm temperatures stick around for their game tonight? We have your forecast after the break.
And later, see how some residents are learning to use wool the old-fashioned way.
That's low, that's low. Look, he's blushing. Seriously.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get
Come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Now for your 5-day forecast. The weather seems to be cooling down just in time for your Easter weekend plans. Good Friday will be a mild sunny day with a high of 64 and the lows dipping down to the mid-30s overnight. The sun will stay out on Saturday with the forecast not changing much from Friday. Expect a high of 67. And parents won't need to worry about those Easter egg hunts. Sunday will have sunny skies and a high of 67. But clouds will roll in on Monday when the mercury drops down to the low 60s during the day and the high in the 30s overnight. Be on the lookout for some April showers and some lower temperatures on Tuesday, with the thermometer peaking at 54. Well, there are many services and activities planned for Easter Sunday in the Rockbridge area, including Easter egg hunts and sunrise services. For more information and a list of those events, log on to rockbridgereport.washingtonandlee.net.
Rockbridge County High School's varsity softball team is gearing up for what it hopes will be a successful season. Rockbridge reporter Katie Sheeler takes an inside look at what's behind the team's winning chemistry.
Last year, Rockbridge County High School's softball team had the first winning season in program history, and this year they're hoping to have their second. An influx of talent from last year's freshman class has helped turn the program around and make the players more optimistic.
It feels a lot better, like knowing that you play on a good team. You don't have to worry about, people talking about, oh, your softball team sucks.
A change in leadership also made a difference. Coach Keith Ruley says when he came into the program last year, he needed to completely change the players' mindset.
They learn how to win. We get to a certain level, we want to keep adding to it.
He's showed us what we know now. And
that's why we're as good as we are.
These girls aren't just talented, they're also incredibly close. Most of them have been playing softball together since they were 10 and 12 years old.
We're all friends and we back each other up. If one's down, another one comes and brings someone else up.
Playing high school and travel ball, you spend most of your summer every weekend, 2 days out of a week together practicing.
At least.
You definitely build a bond.
Yeah.
Ruley has also coached these girls in summer leagues. The girls say his lessons have made them better and given them high goals for the future.
He yells at us, but it's only for our own good, to get better.
He just wants the best for us.
Yeah, he wants to push us to be the best.
Our goal is to win the Blue Ridge District and to make regionals. Like I say, the school's never been to a regional, so that's our first step.
Ruley says he's glad he's been able to see his players grow so much in the last 2 years, and he's looking forward to taking them to the next level. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Katie Sheeler.
The Wildcats softball team plays its next game tonight at Stanton River High School in Bedford.
Buena Vista isn't known for its art scene, but local artist and owner of Blue Dog Art Cafe, Susan Hogan, is trying to change that. Rockbridge reporter Papa Osei has the story.
Susan Hogan believes Buena Vista has the potential to become a hotbed for art, and she thinks she knows how to make that happen.
Its strongest asset is its children and its families. In Buena Vista, they celebrate their families, they celebrate their children.
For the past 7 years, Hogan has been trying to create an art identity for Buena Vista by harnessing the talents of its kids. But she's not only trying to make the children artists.
Children are the #1 key, and it doesn't matter where you live. It's, if we want to save our next generation, we all need to work together to keep them involved.
Hogan runs a 3-week-long summer arts program called Kids University, which employs 25 teenagers. Her cafe displays the work from children who go to her camp. She also volunteers to teach drama at the Perry McClure Middle School.
She has to still get paid for the position, so basically she signed the contract for $1 and is still offering all of our students drama and other arts. And I just feel that the fact that we have that there to offer them has touched a lot of their lives, and has kept many of them, in the school.
Hogan believes art provides something other activities don't.
Well, I call arts the other sport. Not every child can play soccer, baseball, basketball, volleyball, and when you're in the arts, all are welcome. Everyone gets to be a part of it.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Papa Osei.
Hogan helped convert the old Buena Vista Firehouse into a fine arts center. On May 19th, she will host an all-access art festival for the children at this new facility. Well, spring is here, and so are Spring Ruckus Days. After the break, learn what woolly crafts have one woman opening up her house once a month to Rockbridge residents.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Last year, one Rockbridge County woman began hosting what she calls Ruckus Day. Rockbridge reporter Tilden Bowditch found more about the Spring Ruckus Day.
Susan Meister is on a mission to share her passion for wool with anyone willing to learn.
You know, it's like, well, where does your food come from? Where does your sweater come from?
Once a month, Meister opens her home to the public for Ruckus Day. People of all ages and skill levels come to Cabin Spring Farms to learn about working with wool.
So Ruckus Day is to have these people who were in one spectrum of the fiber world to explore other spectrums.
Frances Richardson decided to try hand carding, a practice she hasn't done in over 30 years.
This is supposed to be meditative, but I don't find it so.
Meister teaches beginners about the basic properties of wool.
But it's also
She also demonstrates different ways to spin the wool into yarn.
And then you just let it travel up.
It's just absolutely amazing, though, that you're creating something that people in years gone by did.
Meister also hosts fiber camp for children during the summer. 9-year-old Claire Koski said she learned to use the drum card at camp last year.
The carding is used to get the wool all soft. It doesn't start out as soft, as you can see. It starts out like this, stringy. We want to be careful not to get too much in or it'll get all clumped up.
See if that'll help you pick it up. Yeah.
You can see it's sort of like a blanket.
For Koski, her mom, and her younger brother, Ruckus Day has been a chance to spend a day on the farm. Next month's Ruckus Day will be in conjunction with this season's Shearing Day. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Tilden Bowditch.
Ruckus Day is free and open to the public. Meister says she'll take participants through the entire wool process, from shearing the sheep to making the yarn. She says the purpose of this event is simply to learn and to explore something new.
Well, that's all we have for you today. For more news around the area, check us out online at rockbridgereport.washingtonandlee.net.
We'll be back in the fall for more coverage of Rockbridge County, Lexington, and Buena Vista. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Brooke Sutherland.
And I'm Ann Vasilis. Have a good night.